Hello and welcome to the Primist Propositions podcast here, the Lion Roar. My name's Matt Brown and I'm head of proposition and I'm joined by our wonderful Nikki Flax. Hello, Nikki.
Hello, Matt, and hello to everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Hear the Lion Roar.
Indeed. So we've got a returning guest. We're getting quite good, Nikki, at getting bookings and getting people to come back. So we must be doing something right, I reckon. We're joined by Gregor Sked today from Royal London. So Gregor, you're the Senior Intermediary Protection Development and Technical Manager. Did I get that right? And hello.
Hello, Matt. Hi, Nikki. Hi, everybody. You certainly got that job title right. It's one of the longest in the industry, I must admit.
It's a good one, mate. You sound very important, so that's all good. And you are very important. So, Gregor, before we start talking about Royal London and asking you about the protection market, I guess for those of you who didn't see last time when you talked to us on the vodcast and perhaps don't know who you are, tell us a bit about you.
Yeah, so I've been in the industry for a fair few years now. I think I'm actually hitting double figures now. Can't quite believe it. But I've been at Royal London for the last probably 5 of those years in this industry. And really what my role consists of, other than trying to make sure that that long-winded job title is always spelled correctly, really what I'm here to do is try and help advisors talk about protection, make sure protection, be that business protection, be that personal protection, and everything in between is discussed, and making sure advisors understand the importance of it, and really also helping advisors put across the importance to their clients of protection. And it's a very varied role. We could be presenting one day, could be writing trade press articles the next day, taking part in vodcasts, which is an absolute delight, and I'm so glad to be back as a recurring guest. So it's a very varied role, but a fantastic role nonetheless. And obviously, being able to help advisors with their business and their conversations is a real privilege.
Fantastic, and thank you for coming back onto the podcast again. Always a pleasure to have you on here, and I'm sure the next 20 minutes or so will be helping to, get that message across to the brokers again. So I've got the honour of asking you the first question, Gregor. So we'll kick into that now. So from me, so what are some of the common challenges facing advisors when talking business protection with clients, and what can providers do to support them?
Yeah, so I'm glad we're talking about business protection today, because it's an area that I've spoken about for a couple of years now, and it's an area that the industry is definitely starting to get a little bit more involved with, which is fantastic. But inevitably, it is still quite a lucrative part of the protection landscape. And one of the areas that I've heard a lot of advisors over recent months in particular feeding into myself and into Royal London is that there are some common challenges that they're facing when they try to talk about business protection. And those genuinely seem to be around the complexity. They still view business protection as a relatively complex product process, albeit we are talking a lot of different language here. We're a lot of different terminology. So yeah, the complexity is certainly an area where I think advisors can find themselves tripping up. I think a lot of advisors over recent months that I've seen really do see the importance of business protection and want to start having these conversations with clients, but a big barrier is they just don't know where to start. And actually, where do you find business owners? It might seem like an obvious question, but actually, if you're sat in front of your computer, sat in front of a client and trying to figure out, is there a business protection angle here? What is the avenue to do that? Or if you're sat thinking, actually, I do want to try and explore into this area for growth, business, whatever reason, I just don't entirely know how to make that first step. And I think that is becoming quite a growing challenge, is just needing to get over that first hurdle, really. And I think a lot of things that providers are doing now, and certainly will hopefully be doing more of, or should be doing more of, is trying to help advisors see the opportunity, and I'm sure we'll cover that today, but also see the importance of it and actually help by making sure that we are avoiding a lot of the complexities, the jargon, and making the processes as simpler as possible. I think it's an incredibly lucrative area, as we've said, and there's some fantastic stats out there around the opportunities, and again, we'll hopefully cover some of those opportunities in the session today.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, it is a lucrative area. You've also said there are a lot of challenges as well. So how do you think providers can support advisors to overcome those challenges that clients may have when it comes to business protection? You've mentioned the complexity, perceived lack of need. How can providers help with those?
So I think there's a few areas, and we'll touch on our specific tools in a little moment. But I think more generally, I think a lot of it's about helping advisors help the client see the likelihood and the need for business protection, and providers being able to provide the systems, the tools to actually do that. And I think we can't forget the need for business protection. Business protection is there to make sure that, you know, in the event of there being an illness, a death, that a key individual within the business, that loss isn't going to be a detrimental, it's going to have a detrimental impact onto a business. That's the crux of business protection. But and we see this quite a lot from our conversations at Royal London, is that many business owners, they will not think twice about making sure they've got their premises covered for various insurances, essential costs that they might have for stock and storage, but they can often overlook some of the most important things that the business needs, and that's making sure the people are still there, the key individuals are there to keep the business up and running. So I think the challenge that I certainly see advisors facing, and I think where providers can come in, is really trying to bring across that risk, the likelihood of these events happening. And there are many risk tools out there. Royal London have one. It's a risk calculator. There are others out there, and they are generally used on the personal protection space because that is a normal conversation that we're going to be having about the likelihood of passing away before a certain age. But those tools actually work really well on a business protection context as well, because at the end of the day, the people that we're looking at insuring under business protection are individuals. They are people, and they do face risks. They face the same likelihood of a premature death, a serious illness, an incapacity to work. The risk is that they're business owners, and actually there's an even greater reliance on making sure that that business stays afloat if something happens. And there may even be an instance where there are 2, 3, 4 business owners. So actually the risk could be significantly higher. So I would say I think to sort of come to the crux of the question, I'd say really utilize these risk reports. You really use these risk tools and try and bring to life the likelihood of these scenarios happening. And of course, case studies make life so much more relatable, don't they? And have a little look on providers' website, be them Royal London's or whoever. And if they have case studies around businesses that maybe use business protection, you really pull on that. I think that can really start to bring it to life for business owners.
Totally agree, Gregor. And having gone on to the Amy Viewpoints this week, they very much talked, didn't they, about using real life scenarios. And, it's all well and good quoting claim stats at clients, but that doesn't always resonate, whereas a real life story will. So, I think that's very topical, what you just talked about there, and absolutely relating to business protection as well as any other protection line. So, yeah, Nikki asked you about, I guess, how you overcome the challenges. I'll flip that question on its head and say, what are some of the opportunities and tips that you can share, that advisors can use to grow their business protection and deliver deeper value?
Yeah, so I always say the opportunity to talk business protection is rife. There are so many opportunities. I think the stat that I saw recently was there was about 5.58 million private businesses in the UK. Around 99.9% of those are SMEs, so they've got fewer than 250 employees. That is the target market for business protection. And the fact that makes up 99.9% of the UK business market is huge. And as we said, business protection is very lucrative. It's not necessarily the most overly discussed product or solution. And as I said, the reasons that it exists is to make sure that business owners and businesses can stay afloat when unexpected events happen. And what business owner doesn't want that to happen? I think there's a few areas, and it kind of goes back to that first question that you asked, Nikki, around the objections or the challenges. And how do we find that first opportunity? And actually looking close to home, why look further afield? Look close to home, look at your existing client book. Are there clues within your clients and your databases that maybe can give an indication that somebody may be a key individual within a business? What's their employer title? What's their job role? That initially can even give some really high level insight into actually maybe they are somebody that could really value a business protection conversation. Have they arranged a mortgage and they're using dividend payments to cover that? Actually, that's a fantastic opportunity there to show that they may well be a key individual within the business as well. So I think reviewing existing clients is a really good place to start. I've often used 4 key questions to think about. So, do you have clients that are maybe shareholders or SMEs? Do they expect that their shares in a business at some point might be sold? in the future, are those proceeds, so question 3, are those proceeds proceeds planning to be set aside for later life plans? So is somebody looking at retiring based on that business? And if that's the case, are those aspirations being insured? Because if they're not, actually, we're going to be starting to impact potential later life plans and retirement plans, because businesses aren't just a source of income, are they? They, for many people, are actually a retirement plan as well. So for business owners that are considering retiring based on the sale of the business, there's an even bigger conversation there about later life planning as well. So I think first place to start for getting over that first hurdle, look close to home, look at your existing clients. Are there indications, are there clues that maybe could suggest that they are a key individual in the business? And actually, once we've got yourself through the front door to speak, and actually about engaging with the next business owner, something I've been speaking a lot about in recent months is looking to the next generation of business owners, looking to the next generation of clients. So have we got business owners? Do they have families? And are their children potentially going to be next in line to run the business? Are they going to be the future owners of that business? Again, potentially looking at things like children's critical illness cover, family income benefit policies can be a really good foot in the door to actually start engaging with the future of business owners. So I think, yeah, first thing, just make sure we're looking close to home. We've got a fantastic questions to ask guide on our advisor website. So it gives you, I think, 10, maybe just a little bit more than 10 questions to start helping you with those initial conversations, just simple questions, and it can help you hopefully get the ball rolling.
Perfect, Gregor, thanks. So I guess last question, which I'm sure you'll love talking about Royal London's products, but can you tell us about Royal London's business protection proposition and how does it help advisors deliver value for money to their clients?
Yeah, so certainly an easy question there. I'll actually start by just saying, so we were recently, I think in the last couple of weeks, awarded the best business protection provided by Cover Magazine. So I'll leave that one there just to settle for a moment or two. But with our business protection proposition, so our Royal London Business Menu Plan offers the main types of business protection solutions, and it's all again provided through our menu solution. So similar to what you might come across on the personal menu plan, where you can have up to 10 different covers in one policy effectively, different ranges of covers, different sum assureds, different plan owners, different start dates. That works on a business menu approach as well. And with the menu approach being flexible, actually means that business owners can make amendments to the cover if circumstances change over time. So maybe if a key person is leaving or they're retiring, and maybe a business is looking at taking a new loan, and they need help with or maybe they're needing help with the business growth, and they're looking at, again, taking out certain types of loans, then different aspects can be added to their cover. The other thing I just thought I'd bring to life with Royal London's business protection proposition is our added value services. Now, we'll all be very familiar with added value services. It's a real talking point, and it has been quite rightly for a good few years now. But one of the sort of underspoken about areas with our business protection solution is that also comes with business protection added value services. So a business protection policy sold through Royal London will give clients access to something called Helping Hand for Business. Now, Helping Hand for Business gives clients access to all of the good stuff that Helping Hand will generally come with. So a dedicated nurse, access to mental well-being support, and all the good stuff that it comes with. But from a business owner perspective, it also gives them access to a recruitment support helpline and a legal support helpline. So I guess the question to ask is, how many SME owners have an in-house legal team? How many have an in-house HR team? I would say probably very few and far between. So actually being able to get access to these services alongside the protection, much in the way it does for personal protection, it can give these business owners access to services that could be crucial at a time where maybe they are needing to try and find temporary replacements, permanent replacements. Maybe they are needing some legal support for maybe a transition, a growth, maybe an acquisition. And actually, rather than having very expensive, quite costly, maybe legal costs that could come with that, access them through these types of services could be not just a very effective cost-saving exercise, but it could be access to a service, again, at a very important time. And of course, we've got access to a whole vast array of tools. I'm not going to reel off all of our tools because I think our advisor website's full of fantastic information, but we do have some really handy tools that can help with the initial conversation, help with the ongoing conversation, because of course reviewing protection needs is just as important on the business protection context as it is on the personal protection context. And we've also got an in-house team of corporate protection specialists. So if you are at a point where you want to maybe take the plunge into business protection, or maybe you've got something a bit more technical, you've come across a slightly more technical situation, our corporate protection specialist team are there to help with those queries, help there and help ultimately advisors grow this into this space altogether. So a little bit of a whistle to stop through on our business protection proposition there, but a couple of little nuggets, hopefully that'll be able to come to life when your next conversations with your business owner clients.
You've always got a nugget for us, Gregor. That's why we love having you on, mate. So really useful stuff. We really enjoy talking to you. So thanks for coming on the vodcast today, mate. Nikki, anything else from you?
No, nothing from me. That was a great session. Really was some really good information coming from there.
So we'll leave you to that, Gregor. But thanks a lot, and hopefully we'll get you back for a hat trick on the vodcast, mate.
Love a hat trick. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Nikki.
Take care, Gregor. Thanks a lot. Bye.